Check 1 2. Ooh, that's looking loud. Ooh, check 1 2. Check 1 2. Chickadee check. Hello. Let's try that again. Dames, fellas, those under no umbrellas, we are gathered here today because Jacob is off somewhere gathering people there today for, I don't know, he's doing some wedding thing. And so instead, I'm hanging out on this, a Thursday. What about those under all the umbrellas? You're drier than most. Deal with that how you will. But yeah, welcome. So yeah, we're filling in for Jacob. He's out of the office today. My name is Fizz. I will be your I don't know anything about the Stanley Parable aside from that it's very Douglas Adams-esque and that it's like narrated and he's like an office guy. So that's, yeah, agreed. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. So I'm just saying I don't know how to like tailor the jokes to it yet. So bear with me, you know. I'll try a little bit of office humor, you know. I believe you have my stapler, whatever, you know. We'll deal. But yeah, welcome to Thursday, a bizarre Thursday Fizz hosted stream. That never happens. My name is Kellen Stevens. I'm a voice actor, but I hang out with y'all quite often. Mondays usually, but not today. Yizbird Games, if this is your first time hanging out, is a video game publishing company. They publish games like Valhalla, Cyberpunk Bartender Action, Nirvana, Cyberpunk Bartender Action, She Remembered Caterpillars, World of Horror, Demon School, Masquerada of Songs and Shadows, Y2K, a postmodern RPG. All great games. All games you can look up on Steam and wishlist. It's very good to toss games that you are interested in a wishlist on Steam because then everybody along the chain is happy. Yeah. I don't really have a whole lot of stuff to give y'all for an intro. I'm a little more sleepless than usual, though that's not out of the ordinary for me, so, you know, c'est la vie. Open this bottle. Yeah, spam those links. Remind me what it is that I'm doing here. I thought you were putting the Fizzcord as in my own personal offshoot brand of Discord. Yeah, that's right. I have to talk about Yizbird a little bit. You can check out the website at yizbird.net. That's where you can go to find out information from more of a industry-facing standpoint, in case you're interested in contacting the company and seeing what they do and how needing to get a hold of them for such things. If you're a fan and you want to see news of things, that's what the Twitter, the Facebook, the Discord are all for. News gets blasted upon facebook.com/YizbirdGames, twitter.com/YizbirdGames. Plenty of the fine folks in this chat are from the Discord, discord.gg/YizbirdGames. And I'm fairly certain that a day or so after this episode airs, it'll go up on YouTube, on youtube.com/YizbirdGames, so you can watch the VOD. And this one's for you, Jacob, so you can watch the VOD, and hopefully I do you justice on a day such as this, and hope you're having a great time. Alrighty. Oh, and also, you can check out my own stuff over at twitter.com/FizzTheHuman and my website, findfizz.biz. In case you, I have no idea how much of this game will allow me to voice act for it. So, this may not be a showcase of my voice acting, but it'll at least be a showcase of my reacting. So, yeah, you can, if you like what you hear, hit me up over there for some of your projects at home. That said, since I don't know much about Stanley Parable, I went through the options a little bit, and I set things up to be suitable to my PC. But is there anything that y'all need? I know I saw under audio there's closed captioning. I put it on subtitles only, but I can do full captions if that's preferable. I don't know what the extent of that is. Full captions is best for folks. Perfect. Yeah, cool. Happy to do so. Yeah, absolutely. Is there a good spot that this should, not that, that stays where it is. Is there a good spot where I should go? Like, do I be on the computer the whole game? Am I a motivational poster? I could be. You don't know. But is there, like, if I leave myself, the small Fizz up here, top right should be fine. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right, then, I guess without further ado, I'm scared to, like, click anything. Extras, what's under extras? Achievement, disabled, saved, disabled. Are those things that I should have enabled? Achievement unlocked. Achievement. Okay. And saves. I don't know how saves work, but I feel like they should be enabled. Is that a, like, I can save at certain points and then choose other routes? I know this game is very route heavy. You know, one quick Google. Should I turn on saves for the Stanley Parable? Enabling saves does allow you to save in the middle of a run. Since the game rarely takes more than 5-10 minutes, this isn't necessary, but allows you to save and reload, so you don't have to keep replaying the early bits of the game. Yeah, let's leave it on so I can, but, like, don't have to. I think that sounds good. I guess without further ado, and let me know if any audio situations need to be changed. We begin. That's ominous. The end is loading. Yeah, I do like the idea of, like, if I discover that there's something, like, specific that I want to do, I can save. Or I could just ignore saving even though it's on. Something I can do. How are y'all today? I'm looking spiffy because I just came from work and decided that, I guess, office worker befits bartending attire, sort of. But I thought about, like, switching into, you know, white shirt, red tie.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
How's volume? Do we want
And then
volume
one
up?
day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I like. Something's a little glitchy. It's skipping a little bit, and I don't know if I... Okay. Well, we should be alright. Stanley noticed a red button, but did not know how to interact with it. Stanley used to have a computer that looked a lot like this back at home, when he grew up in the hills. Stanley has a pencil sharpener and yet doesn't use his pencils for any part of his job. Stanley hates Mondays, apparently. Stanley doesn't want to go see the outside world. That's a lie. Right? Did I lock myself in? Hello? 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 Stanley would like to leave, please. Stanley doesn't know what buttons do. Does Stanley have an interact button? E. Stanley tried E. And although he had a relatively good time, his life would be forever changed. No, I didn't check the controls. Why would I ever check the controls?
Check your controls.
I don't see... Oh, wait. Hang on. Controls to duck. Mouse 1. Okay. We should be good. I can duck. Do I become a duck? Stanley felt that he was more of a goose.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Thanks, buddy. Stanley never liked the person next to him, for 428 was one number higher than 427. Little did he know that the ranking started at number 1, and he should really hate office worker number 426.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Oh.
could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
He had no one else to hate.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
You know, good point though. Who did fart? There better be like a who let the dogs out mug or something around here too.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I like work. I just hate my boss. What does that say? Bile. It probably doesn't say that, but I think it just contains bile. The bile from that rose from the other mug. Stanley is scared to interact with any doors lest he get caught in a liminal space. Stanley appears to be caught in a liminal space. Please let me out, said Stanley. Stanley doesn't know how to navigate a simple office. Stanley is caught in the geometry of the universe. Stanley will cry himself to sleep. Stanley is going to begin the game again. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Stanley wonders if the memo that he missed is this memo on the ground. Oh, there's the umbrellas that we were talking about at the beginning of the stream. If you are under all the umbrellas, necessarily you are also in that box. Stanley would like to turn the computer back on, but does not know how. How the mighty have fallen. What soaked peace talks? Well, I'm just not going to touch that one. Stanley found a computer awaiting an input. Stanley wishes to dance on the keyboard rather than push the buttons. Please, Stanley, just cooperate. I've input 1. I thought I could input more than 1.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Stanley would like to jump through the window. Stanley enjoys that there is a green plant next to the 420 door. Please. Knowing your city. Before you can possibly know where to begin your new street vending operation, you first have to get to know your city. I'll use Georgetown as an example in this book, but in order to really get the knowledge, it's best to go explore. Georgetown, California? There's like nothing there. Did I not come from this direction? I guess I could have walked this way the whole time. My bad. I am counting down the doors now. The numbers should have been... Okay, this whole place is a liminal space. How am I supposed to... I get turned around, okay?
When Stanley
Jeez.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I know this one. But I don't remember what happens by repeatedly going right. But I know that this is a grand example of this game's shenanigans. I'm going to go back through the... No, I'm going to go out through the... I'm going to go and follow the narrative for the first playthrough. Stanley understood that there was more than just this life. I don't like that... I don't know what's like... I want to turn some of these down just a little and see if it stops like skipping. My graphics card should be able to handle it just fine, but it keeps like stuttering for a second to load everything. And I don't know if that's... Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me I borked it. Oh, I didn't. Okay, this is the original. This I've had in my Steam library for like 9 million years. Stanley wants to know what the 411 is on this door. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day with no expectation of promotion.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Let it ball up
Feeling
inside
waves of
you.
Disbelief, Stanley
these are
decided
good.
to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Good. What do people want? Things. No. Money. More money. Things, but with money to buy more things? Graphs? Giraffes? Drafts about things and money. Drafts are all about things and money. And long necks. They don't have stripes, though. They have spots. Look at this graph! We need less reviews. More or less reviews. 402 and 405 want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Find teenagers to put in the teenage demographic with a big net or some sort of child trap. These are so good. Throw something in the ideas bin. Space food. In the bin. Goes in the bin. Hydration check. Goes in the bin. Putting it right in the bin. I'm the bin. At least it's recycled. 1, no more bins, trash cans. 2, renaming of the ideas bin. 3, firing of me. 4. Ideas. Oh, are these the ideas in the bin? Better safe than profits. Business club. Rule 1. References are not all they're cracked up to be. Please, no more charts, please. I'm begging. Stop. Oh, these are so good. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market. Parade? Paradise? Paradigms? Paradigms. Shift global market paradigms. Monetize free to play. We're working on that one. Not us as in Yizbrid, but us as in society. TPS reports. That number is going up, which means this number is going down. Stanley got tired of huffing the dry erase fumes. Stanley wondered which one of his coworkers was number broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Stanley thought of himself as a bit of a Gordon Freeman.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
John Freeman, Gordon Freeman's brother.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Hey,
Yes,
look.
He's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sweet FA.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Stanley decided to walk down the stairs a little bit. Stanley wonders if the stairs go on forever. Stanley doesn't like red lights. Stanley thinks this must be hell.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh, this is good.
Doors close automatically behind him wherever he went. And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
I didn't realize we were still playing Outer
Then
Wilds.
Perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time right now.
Fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up.
I'm too tired for
I'm through with this dream.
pillow talk.
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Same as it ever was.
My life
Same as
is
it ever
normal.
was.
I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
As the waves flow by, water flowing underground.
Stanley
Oh God.
Please, someone wake me up. My name
Oh,
is
no.
Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
This is not my beautiful
This
office.
is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh, Mariella. Are you Neo?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere
I understand now what happened the last time. Oh. Things are different now.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
God, please don't read every paper, says the Blitch Witch. Whatever you do. We'll start with this one! And go the whole time! I'm kidding. Stanley decided that taking even the time to read one paper was just a little too much. 2 inputs. Ooh. Stanley wondered aloud if they burned books in room 457. Wait, that's 451. Damn it. The joke was there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Stanley will go up to see his boss this time, instead of find himself dead on the sidewalk. Stanley will no longer wonder what the 411
Yet there
is.
was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Stanley wondered if his boss lived in the pipes. Stanley wondered if his boss lived in the brick. Stanley wondered if his boss lived under the stairs. Stanley wondered if his boss was in the halogen lights. Stanley wondered how the boss could afford such wonderful wallpaper. You're right. They are fluorescent. Look, sometimes you have to make the bit work, and you can't stop the bit to try and search for the word you want. Stanley wondered if Santa was going to come down this chimney.
His manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Stanley wondered if all the people in the building had been transformed into these books. Stanley decided to open each book in the hopes that
Stanley
one of the
just sat
books
around
contained his
twiddling
friends.
thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Stanley wondered where the fava beans were to accompany this nice Chianti.
2845.
Stanley wondered how he thought in red. Where's the keypad, actually? Is it the... It's that. There we go. 2845.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
No, I want to do it right this time. Oh.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead.
Stanley wondered if he had two stories going on at the same time. Stanley found where the wall removed itself. Link Plus. For when you really gotta save Princess Zelda. This descends into the underworld, doesn't it? Stanley was indeed gaming. blood and
As he
darkness.
deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Stanley began to hear the dulcet tones of Darren Korb singing falsetto. Stanley began to feel daddy issues.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Stanley felt that he couldn't have eaten so much that he wouldn't fit through these pipes. What's that? Oh no. Oh no, that's a problem. Those are specific numbers. There's a code on this. I don't want to take the time to decode this. We'll be here all day. Oh, Stanley decided not to go and try and solve a puzzle in front of him, and instead to hit the big button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Television
What horrible
screens.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Stanley looked at his character sheet. Stanley found that he did not in fact have enough strength. An athletics check would not avail him here. Stanley wondered who had been smoking all the time here. Stanley wished he had a jump button. Employee observation protocol. I can't read it. To see if, despite adherence to Protocol 2A and Protocol 2B, an employee leaves the office during work hours and a system loop has failed, you must terminate. 2D, please note that employee 432 is a test case. While the need for Protocol 2A may seem unlikely, procedure 2A to 2C need not apply. In the event of 432 attempting to leave the office, contact supervisor and then contact 432 prize pool. 3A, if a monitoring screen fails to initialize, contact maintenance and temporarily switch control over to desk screen. That sounds important. 4A, in the case of a Class 4 event, close system gates and consult with supervisor. In the case of a Keter class SCP in the case of a Class 3 event, close system gates and consult with supervisor. Prime your consoles for info dump. Oh, here's all of them. 1A. Oh no, is that 14? No, that's 1A. If an employee begins exhibiting unscheduled emotions, immediately contact supervisor. Okay. 1B, please note that employee 432 is a test case. Procedure 1A need not apply. 2A, if an employee attempts to leave the office via any non-scheduled means, e.g. window, vehicle, unsafe door, set explosive status to default. Employee status to default. That's not explosive, that's employee. Status to default, and then back to their previous... Wait. Set employee status to default and then back to their previous mode. If attempts to leave, persist, contact supervisor. Despite adherence, an employee somehow leave the office during, you must initiate for that section without delay. The temporary loop then must the immediate supervisor. Interesting. Alright, let's hit the button and turn on some screens.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Which one is it? I'm for what? Are they purring? Fired. There's a glitchy one up there. There, that one. Four, 3, 2 would be right there. Which one am I on? 417? $427? Right here. Yeah, how about that? Oh yeah, Ocelot, you like that title? That stream title? Stanley hopes that this is the launch human button.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
This was a triumph.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Stanley decided to push the blue button. Stanley decided to push the blue button. What the? What are the symbols here? Power. I can't tell what that is. It's hard for me to read it with the color the way it is. E. I might not say anything. It might be some squiggles. Stanley decided cyan was close enough to blue to push. Stanley enjoyed only pressing his favorite colors. Stanley noticed the bisexual computer. You go, bisexual computer. Live your best life. Five. Stanley thought that there were too many buttons and not enough action happening. Stanley entered the... Oh god, what was it called from X-Men? The Cerebro.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place.
I actually didn't mean to click the off button. Is that credits?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes.
Is what you're saying that I'm playing a game of short loops?
Unshackled himself from
Meanwhile, on my usual day, I'm playing a game about short loops.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
So, you're finally awake.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Stanley was assured that that mountain over there, he could walk upon it.
Were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I won. Well, that's it. I guess it's time to... I'm kidding, we're gonna go on break, though. We're gonna go on break. Because... Good game. Good game indeed. Yeah, well, I'll be back in about 15 minutes, and we'll see what other Office Space tomfoolery we can get up to. Stanley returned from his break. I feel like there was a joke I was gonna make. I don't remember what it was, though. Like, I was like, here's the joke to say when I hop back on stream. It wasn't that. That's fine. I'm in pajamas now. I'm comfy. Stan Lee returned from his... Stanley wondered who had picked up all of the papers from the
meeting
floor.
room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Stanley wondered where that one computer was that asked him to push a button. Lorem ipsum. I don't know what that is. Stanley knew that one of the computers around here was asking for input. He had already put 2 in. Whether or not the computer would give him anything after all 5 buttons had been pushed was quite frankly up to the computer.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Stanley wants to continue down the rabbit hole of messing around with the mind control room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
continued
upstairs
to walk
his
up.
boss's office.
Continued to walk up. Stanley found the computer that required the input. There were now 3 inputs made.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
Stanley began to play the piano. 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 Stanley began to tinkle the ivory. Stanley began...
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-dum.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Stanley resigned to his fate of opening the door.
Incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Today is gonna be the day that we're gonna bring it back to you. Stanley played the piano upon request. How dare what, Lau? What have I done this time?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Stanley had oh so many colored buttons to push.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Yeah.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Stanley was free as a bird now. For Stanley felt that this bird you could not change. Fly high, free bird.
Now the monitors jumped to life. their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of
Who's
so
that?
many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
When Stanley was a young boy, his father took him into the city to see a marching band. Stanley's father told him that one day... Employee 528. Interesting. Curious about employee 528. Stanley wonders if that paper that listed all the numbers is actually in order to click on each of these screens. Stanley determined that would take much, much longer than any of the puzzles that Tunic had supplied him with.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Well, I now know that there's a 5 button and a 4 button. My question is there a 3 button, a 2 button, and a 1 button? Oh, they're all numbers. Okay, so see, check this out, because that looks like a house, right? But it's not. It's a 9? Or maybe a 6? And then that has 10 on it. The triangle probably represents 3. G could be 7. Or that could be 3. Two, 3. So what's 1? Is it whiteboard time? Yeah, it just might be. Therein lied the big red button. Is that 1? Oh, and that's 8, see? It's a symbol that has 8 on it. So, what I want to know is what's 1? Because I'm assuming we need to hit all these in order, but it could be any of them. Like, okay, there's 3. Oh, so maybe I have that wrong. 1, 2. Okay, so let's hit these in order. And then maybe I need to find like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, maybe. Where was 4? 4 was up top side. There we are. Where was 5? Just... Is there even a like buttons to hit for everything? Okay, so like what if I hit like I'm wondering what G is. Oh. Never mind, the note is the same every time. All right, let's see. So, I guess the question is like, is this... Oh, that's a 1. It's just it's just a column. 1, 2, 3. Damn it. Okay. Try this again. 1. Do I have to turn this on first? Power. Okay, let's try this one more time. 1. I want a... Is it a green one, I think? 2. Then a red one. Oh, I pushed that. Damn it. 1, 1, 2. No, 1, 2, 3. What would 4 be, as a matter of fact? Pink or purple one? Is there a color we're missing? Or are these even... Are these numbers? Maybe these aren't buttons to push. Maybe it's like this is... Like... like 1063 or something. Huh. G, 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 baby, baby, baby. Well, let's go into the facility and turn it on, maybe? Maybe all of this is doing nothing because it's not even on.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes.
Oh, Stanley.
Is that what you wanted?
Applaud your effort,
Another
really do.
video game
But
other
you
than
need
your
to
own?
understand,
Control?
There's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off.
Passcode.
But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
2.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Soundtrack's freaking great.
What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley.
Oh, that's a good
You're
giggle.
in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Insane.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Chloe, no.
I got her.
Okay.
What are you doing, Goose?
Chloe's going nuts.
Stop. Fucking crazy.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself.
Yes, quite.
That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Stanley decided that he was going to attempt to speedrun the game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Stanley would eventually go
Yet
on
there
to
was
go
not a
through the door
single
on his
person
right
there either.
after the next break.
Feeling a
But we
wave of
weren't at
disbelief,
the next break
Stanley
yet.
decided
Oh
to go
no.
up to his boss's office.
That would not
Hoping
be
he
for
might
another
find an
24
answer. Coming
minutes
to
or
a
so.
Staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Stanley wanted to see what the executive bathroom was right. To be rich, is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Whew. Stanley washed his hands. I like that Time magazine has a clock. That's clever.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Stanley would descend once more into the depths.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Stanley decided that after entering this facility, he was going to save the game, so as to not have to play through this portion of the game once more.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Excuse me.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Oh, excuse me.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Hey, Clovey. Hi. Hey, Chloe. Hey. Ugh. You're going nuts. What you doing? Okay. Chloe's having a good time.
Let go. Have it.
All yours, Chloe. Yeah. That's it. Go absolutely nuts. Cleaning her kicky feets. Okay, well, we're gonna put this back up on its spot. Oh, there we go. What doing? What doing?
She's waiting for me, I think. What are you doing?
Yes. 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 All right. Stanley decided that although there is no such thing as too much cat, that the stream would simply have to go on without Chloe's wonderful dancing and prancing. Meanwhile, Chloe danced and pranced regardless.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I just want to figure out one of these, like, one of these console bits. But maybe I have to go elsewhere to find that information.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand,
Like all these, I can put in like a 4-digit something or other.
Let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't
still
have nearly
posit
the
that
power
these are
you think you do,
numbers.
for example, and I believe you'll find this
18,
pertinent. Stanley suddenly realized he had
93.
just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode,
110.
eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then?
Big red button.
Let's say 2 minutes.
108.
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to
What would
your
the
heart's
passcode
desires.
be?
Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
Seeing
All right,
button
I'm in a
hint
good mood.
3.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly
Dark blue
what happened
1.
to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying
I have to hit
alone.
3.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich.
Red
I almost
2.
hate
Do I have to
see
hit it twice?
go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell
Dark
with
blue
it.
1.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are
Light blue
precious
1.
additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're
Red
going or
2.
what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you
Orange
saw that timer
71.
that something in this
Button
room
hint
was capable
orange.
of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
1 yellow.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door.
So it'd be
Everything, anything.
what was
Something here
the
will
first
save
one?
me. Why would you think that, Stanley?
Light
That
blue.
this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you
Purple.
have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking
Purple.
desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all
number
of
is that?
eternity.
Does it have a
And
number?
Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
I don't have to
30
look.
seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life?
2.
Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice.
Because dark
Make
blue
it
is
count.
3.
Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me,
Thought.
I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Okay. I say call IT. Maybe not something that we
All of his
solved this time
co-workers were
around.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe we see what happens if I try to escape.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I had to remember for a second that I already did the going down the stairs ending there.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Perfect, thanks. Quelle surprise indeed.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I want to keep trying to figure that out, but will it skip me through all this? Will it just let me drop down to the bottom?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Can I go back? I guess there's no going back. A man can dream. A man can dream.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed.
I was gonna try and
Each
load
bore
the save,
number of
but
an employee in the building. Stanley's co-worker.
I almost don't want
The
to
lives of so
reload
many
a save
individuals
because,
reduced
like,
to
I
images
like
on a
that
screen.
the
And
narrator
still, one of them, eternally monitored in this
knows that
place,
you've done stuff before.
nothing.
I don't know if that carries over. Okay, there's some more busted screens. $5.28, $28. That box contained kryptonite.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Sorry about that.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Okay, so I want some hints.
Stanley, I
Not from
applaud your
chat,
effort, I
but
really
like-
do. But you need to understand, there's only so much
It
that
does
machine
give
can
us
do.
hints.
You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2
If I can't figure it out this time around,
now,
we'll
this
try
is
some
making
other
things
stuff.
A little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it.
Green.
Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're
Why
going,
incorrect?
what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Button hint.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good
Dark
mood.
blue.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you
So that's a
exactly
3.
what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
Purple
Of course,
2.
that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Press any key to send power
Other times,
surge.
I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
Incorrect.
You know
I
what?
just
To
don't
hell
get
with
it.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
That
Or
is
did you
exactly
just
what it
assume when you
is.
saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from
can I
button
just
to button,
turn it
from
off?
screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But do you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me in the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
What was
Take
the...
a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left. to
I don't have
struggle.
time.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
All right. Huh. That's cool.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Maybe one of the coworkers has a code on it or something. I don't trust the narrator now either. Nobody should ever trust the narrator.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
We'll do the right door this time.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Well, he stood here trying to drink it all in, but none of the cups had any liquid in them.
Yes.
Even the fizzy drinks were not
really
so
worth it being
fizzy.
here in the room, a room so utterly captivating but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Daddy.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I like this idea.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Let's see, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story
clapping.
is absolutely, definitely this way.
Elder, we were watching, or we were following what the narrator was telling us to do, and then I tried my hand at some mind control. Eldre, excuse me, thank you. Tried to do some button pushing. I couldn't quite solve things, so decided to take a different route just to get a little bit of variety. Is this an ice cream truck? Because otherwise I was running around and not really solving too much. Oh, but here we are, back in the story, aren't we? Well, what if I don't want to go that way? Do I have to, like, bolt through a door while he has it open, or does he slam the stuff on me?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
I like.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I would like... Yeah, that's what I was looking for, is the input, because this would be the 5th one. Just gotta figure out which screen has it. Could almost be any screen at this point, but I thought it was one of the, like... So far, it's been all computers in here.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh, that's cool. And so Stanley wandered around, picking up the different small pieces of his own game's guidebook. None of it was in a language he could understand, but that didn't stop Stanley.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Music's great.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Username, access.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering
Oh, no.
this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
I just want like a dancing book, and that's the story that we were supposed to find. Hello. That looks promising.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh.
Now this...
What?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so...
Congratulations!
good job.
Congratulations!
Oh, no.
What?
I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Oh no.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Good.
Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ordinarily, Stanley would follow a line, but the nature of room 420 captured his attention, much as it always did. Where's this? Oh, solitaire. Can I play? No. Four B6? 4B5?
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
4-something-8.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that
I
a
love this.
destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact
Oh boy.
a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct. Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh, thank you. I love it. Hoping I'd have one more computer to put an input in on. OB1 Kenobi. OB2. Alright, what if I like... Zero B1. Annual reviews, monthly ledgers, corporate imbalances, mental imbalances, files.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
That's a nice fern. The passcode is how many leaves on the fern there are.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Stanley Parabola. Okay, well, let us back to here.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Excuse me. And I think if it's all right with you, Ocelot, I'm gonna
You know what,
skip the
Stanley?
break
I say forget the adventure
and
line.
just
What's it ever done
go
for
till
us?
8
We're
and then
intelligent
call it.
people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
More right door adventures.
Now, yes, this
'Cause I'm
is
getting very,
exciting. Just me and
I'm getting
Stanley
very
forging a
sleepy,
new path, a new
unfortunately.
story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
Ooh.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
And so Stanley became a pirate. A glorious ocean and a quaint boat appeared in front of him. He would sail the 7 seas. Stanley, you okay? How many laps do I have to make before the game understands? Oh, wait. Is this... So it is a finite type of corridor. It's just how many times you turn and stuff, yeah?
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley.
Maybe not.
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Just acknowledge it's trademarked.
Ah, a choice. We get to
Ooh.
make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
I guess I could only really go this way. Confusion ending.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion
Oh,
ending.
cool.
You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to
Oh, I
restart
love
the game
this.
eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide?
Make up a story
Why
here.
don't
Narrator
I
says
get a
there's
say
no
in
longer an
all of
office.
this?
Into the black
Is it
space.
really?
Wander the blackness. Find a bookstore. Get bored and leave.
No, it can't be.
He starts
I
the
don't
game.
want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I
Aw.
don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
It's just credits.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination.
Yeah.
So I hope that's
Agreed.
where we are.
The contrast between the narrator here and the one that
We'll
blows
find
this
out,
up.
won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime,
Oh. Oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. There's our 5th one. Oh. It's all the buttons. And the music. Buttons. 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 It's Stanley's personal heaven. I want to restart and push all the blue ones. Oh. Can I push all the buttons? What happens if I push all the buttons? I feel like I should be a bit more methodical about this. I don't know if I can push all the buttons. No, some of them are turning back on again. It's just button heaven, I guess. Button heaven is the opposite of bullet hell? Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just time to begin the game again. Can I do it again? Do I just go back to button heaven? Is this just the ending? Or like an ending? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so like I wonder if I can escape. Wait, hang on. They're singing buttons. There was another voice. Maybe he just said buttons. Okay. Well, we're not going to put that last input in. Oh.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today.
Oh, it's Stanley's wife.
Milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Aw. Stanley needed to remember a grocery list, of which he was not very well versed at remembering. I remember milk, coffee beans that Stanley likes, sugar, spaghetti, bread, I think,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Should I have stayed in that other room? Does it matter? Ooh.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Employee lounge is here.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
It was the coffee that Stanley likes.
Yes. Really, really worth it.
The
being
coffee
here in the
that Stanley
room.
likes.
So utterly captivating that even though
The
all your
coffee
coworkers have mysteriously
that
vanished,
Stanley
here you sit looking at these
likes.
presents and presents. Really worth it.
It wasn't the coffee that Stanley likes. What's it?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
What is it about
It's
this
possible
place?
that this
The
is
weeks
why
I've spent
everyone
here,
left.
they feel like mere seconds. Does it say
Stanley sat around
Jules
waiting for
by-
more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Mere seconds. Sounds by. But so short that they might not as well, or they might as well not exist. It is the nature of this room, its essence. It calls to me. Something of my soul. Jimmy, there's something never. Words. Just feeling down. Where do I even begin? Belonging, truth with a capital T. Would I say the lounge has spoken to me? Yes, but in a cryptic tongue created specifically for this very communication. Sound in its purpose. A single minuet of clarity? Is that what that says? A single. Oh no, moment of clarity. Connection between man and room. Then shut forever. A memory. Perhaps not a memory, but an insight into the past. The past that never happened. Also, I'm hungry. Stanley wanted a cold drink. Stanley wanted a hot drink.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years
Traffic
ago.
room. Stanley looked at the blueprints. Stanley looked at the red prints. Stanley looked at the green prints. Caution, do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Oh, God. Okay. I was lying just then. I'm not looking at any prints. Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion, will cause death. Penalty for misuse, $1,000 bucks. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. If you die, I'm charging you $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone
Really,
else
I'm
can be
not.
difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Oh.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Huh?
To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Drop a save here, we say. I don't know how to... Did I save? There we go. Okay.
She's been waiting.
The darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her.
Oh my
If
God.
you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked
No.
up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely
Foley.
here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another.
This is not my beautiful house.
Fade to
This is
white,
not my beautiful
with
wife.
credits.
How did I get
Not
here?
Picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Oh.
I can't believe I was so mistaken.
Oh.
This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choice. And to think I've been letting you run around
Choice,
in this
choice.
game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly
Oh,
on
no.
safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Okay.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack? Is that
Excellent.
correct?
Making
Perfect.
choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day.
Oh, I hate
Do you
choices.
make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant.
Yeah,
And
I'm
the
also
feeling
concerned about
should
whatever a
subside.
back, sack, and
At
crack
this time,
is.
your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed
Oh.
that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on
Danger,
good decision
danger
making,
everywhere.
we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
So, did they just, like, adjust some textures and stuff, like, to mess with things? Or did they, like, purposefully design it to look messy? Does that make sense? Like, was this, like, handcrafted chaos? Or is it, like, they splashed some of their textures around and randomized things? I wonder. Handcrafted chaos. I like it. We're right. I was supposed to.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform
Oh.
and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to
Unlocked,
get you
you can't
home
jump.
as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely could have jumped off earlier. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but my assumption is yes. My assumption is there's a lot of points in this where there's, like, you know, a choice. It's only the most quality artisanal chaos, yes.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Let's see.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would.
Ah.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
It's clipping a little bit. You're a little bent. Having a good time. Just making sure that was still a door.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what?
My
What did you
work?
get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to
What did he
continue,
do there
would
for
it
a
be worth
second?
it?
Well,
To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oh. Sounds like inscription.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
Aw.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect.
There was a
worked
whole
so
temple.
hard on
There
it.
were
I tried
demons.
so
I
hard.
designed all of the demons. They were crazy colors.
Behave
You should have
exactly
seen
as
it.
Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When
I even
Stanley
hired a
came to set of
mariachi
two
to
open
be the
doors,
NPCs
he
you would
entered the
encounter.
door
I have to
left.
call them off now. All because you didn't want to go to the temple that I designed.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
just gonna wait
Just
by the
follow my
door.
lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Serious
he
style.
entered the door on his left.
Serious sideways jumps.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly.
I think I'm in a
hurry.
loop.
Behave
I
exactly
think I
as
actually
Stanley
have
would.
to.
That means choosing responsibly.
One
and
more
always
try,
putting
though,
the
just
story
in
first.
case.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
Maybe
When
even
Stanley
two.
came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We go out the door at the back. I don't think so. I think I've tried. Before I end the stream.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
Wait, okay. Hello? Did I bork it?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Huh. Is this, is this supposed to happen? Oh no, I didn't mean to go into the button heaven. Papers, please. Aw, lame. I want the papers back.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started. And if it did, it...
Can I, like, restart until the papers are going nuts? What does he do?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Is there something soft down there to land on? Should I, like, shoot for the pile of boxes or something?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
All right,
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Since we've got about 10 minutes left, B-dubs, was there something...
butterflies in his stomach. Giddy in a way he had never known before.
Is there a specific choice you'd like me to
A
make?
connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, deeply,
Hang on.
madly love.
The catwalk. Okay.
Yes, really worth it. But eager to get back to business.
Thankfully,
Stanley
that
took
is
the
what I was
first
about to
open
try
door on
next
his left.
anyway. So I'm glad we have
Stanley
that
was so bad
same
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
thought.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story
Yeah,
has been
that's
about
okay.
nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay. Give me a chance to be one of your best friends. Do not stand on this side of fence. I do not want to be forgotten.
Now listen
Oh.
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Well, obviously not. My favorite color is blue.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the
Blue.
red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Blue.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work
Skill
with me,
trees.
you
Yeah,
can
yeah, that would have been
absolutely
great.
nothing
Yeah.
so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Yeah, you know?
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Just all the doors are blue, right? Yeah. The worldwide leaderboard. Is this real? A dead rat. I want this to be real, but obviously, like, Stanley 427 is not real. But, like, were those other users real? That was that was like stock art of Nightmare that I saw there. Like Soul Calibur Nightmare. Can they do that? See, look, Vala. That's fucking Nightmare. Oh, okay, sure.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard
Competitive
helped you
leaderboard.
feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
No, it didn't.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Actually, I'm sorry, it's 4:30, and I have to get back to
Vehicles
some...
left towards danger.
What was
You
it,
get
Bed
the
Bath
button
and
to move
Beyond?
back to the
I don't...
right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice.
Back, crack,
But of
and
course,
rack.
The
That's
message
it.
of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard.
I
Did
tried.
you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
What we playing? Bullet Hell? Button Heaven?
Is this anything? At last, one thing I've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Is it ever enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Oh, this is so good.
Here, no, here, and then. Let's
How-
see, what does it need?
How does this
Yes,
work
of
when it comes
course,
to
and just
copyright?
finish it all off. Yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art. and
Parody?
feel
Okay.
ashamed at your
Yeah,
own
maybe this isn't the exact
inadequacy.
textures.
Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside.
Oh, they got
You've
permission.
only gotten
Cool.
half the experience. Please step inside and make yourself comfortable.
I don't trust you opening doors for me.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if. Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Yes, this is great. I'm having a great time. The music. Oh. Fun fact, in current new Minecraft expansions, there's a guest composer for, I think it's the caves and what have you. Kumi Tanioka is a guest composer, and she's the composer for Crystal Chronicles, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Also did a bunch of tracks for Final Fantasy XI, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
She's not the main composer. I think Lena Rain is the, unless I'm getting Lena Rain mixed up with someone else in Minecraft. I forget who's doing the current soundtracks. Yeah, I think it's Lena Rain. Okay. Yeah. So she's the main composer, and then Kumi Tanioka does about, I think, 2 or 3 tracks in the latest expansion, and maybe the previous one as well, but I think maybe just the. Do I have to? I need something to mine with. This is so good.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
What you got for me? Linear. I swear, if it just puts Final Fantasy 13 in front of me. Ha! Ha ha!
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. Oh, what is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Yes, please. Oh, this is so good. I haven't played this in years. Please tell me the narrator and GLaDOS talk to each other.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games. And I highly doubt you're any wiser for the
Oh. Stanley Parable Alpha Test. Absolutely some liminal spaces. Blue doors. I don't blame you. Hello? I wonder if those UIs are obviously something to someone. This part is made to resemble the original mod version of the game. Cool. What was this a mod of? I didn't know that Stanley Parable was a mod. Half-Life 2. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Of course it is. Blue. Okay.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
It's perfect. Running into the end is never the end. Hey, we're back with the papers. All right, well, I save. Here. And folks, I want to thank you for coming to another Yizbrid stream. I know I'm not Jacob, but I hope that this stream was just as enjoyable. It was enjoyable to me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was. I'm just glad that I was finally convinced to play Stanley Parable, because I've had that downloaded for, I don't know, years? 5, 6 years? 7 years? Can I see? Can I see when it was purchased or gifted or anything? How do I check that? Genuinely curious as to how long I've had this. Just looking to see. Count at the top right hand corner of the Steam window and go to account details. Licenses and activations. Oh, I see. Licenses and product key activations. Okay, cool. Huh. Fun fact. I guess my first Steam game purchase on here was in 2008, and it was Audio Surf. Stanley Parable I have had since 2014. I have 9 years. January 2nd, 2014. Over 9 years I've had that game, and I still haven't played it. I don't have enough games on Steam for me to need to search for it. Does it say how many games I have? I don't know. I mean, I could count. I'm not going to count. Anyway. So if you'd run it once, that would have been long enough to get the 5-year achievement. Yeah, alas. Yeah. Well, now in 2028, I'll be able to get the 5-year achievement. But yeah, thanks again for hanging out, everybody. I hope y'all had as much fun as I did. I know that Stanley Parable is it's one of those games where, like, I guess much like Outer Wilds, you can really only experience it for yourself once. But it's such an impactful game that watching others experience it for the first time is also incredibly enjoyable, at least when I watch other people play games similar, so I hope that was good. I hope it was as good for you as it was for me. I'm gonna go, I mean, it's 4:30, so I'm gonna go bed and breakfast, and I'll catch all y'all at the next one. I know this will show up on YouTube sometime the next day or so. YouTube.com/USPrintGames. If you liked all the people that you hung out with, and even if you didn't, but you wouldn't mind chatting with them from time to time, discord.gg/USPrintGames. You can go hang out with everybody there. I want to thank all the mods for hanging out. Y'all are awesome, and you keep the place spick and span, clean, sparkling, and nobody even makes too many messes anyway. But I've seen when messes are made, and y'all just can clean house, no pun intended. Yeah, you can check out my stuff outside of the Yizbrid stream over at twitter.com/FizzTheHuman, that's me, or my website, findfizz.biz. That's where you can go for my voiceover stuff, because throw stuff at me if you want me to do stuff in your game, or animated project, or commercial, or if you want me to read your kid a 3 months late Christmas message as Santa. I don't know. It's up to you. But you can contact me about it. I'm happy to consider it at least. Anyway, yeah. All y'all have a good one. I swear I'm missing things. Oh, yeah, Facebook and Twitter.com/Yizbrid in order to go and check out news for, when things get announced and stuff like that. I did want to make mention, I don't know if Jacob's talked about it, but I know the information is publicly out there, but Yizbrid will be at PAX in Boston coming up in about a month's time, so I know I'll be there in case anybody's attending to swing by the booth. I have known nothing about what our booth plans are, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. So, yeah. We'll see you over at that next one. I think that's it. Can't think of anything else. Except for buttons. For some reason. I don't know why. Oh, well. But yeah, y'all have a fantastic evening or day, whatever it is in your corner of the world. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and always keep your spirits up. Remember these 3 things, and you too can ascend to button heaven. Otherwise, you're going to bullet hell, as somebody said earlier. It's a very valid point. Y'all have a great one, and toodaloo. Someday I'll press the right button when I want to. Bye.